I'm trying to get all these dogs together to go for a little bit of a walk. I made a video in my kitchen just a little while ago, and it was on my other iPad, and I forgot that I don't have internet on that iPad, so I can't go walking with it. I have to stay in the house with that. So hopefully I can transfer that into this video eventually. But what I was doing, I'm trying to get my dogs together here. I guess I just have two. Oh, I've got three with me. What I was doing was I had just gone and harvested a couple puffballs out of my backyard. You shush. I'll be with you in just a minute. And I peeled them all up and cut them up to get ready to fry. And this is, I was just taking the skins out here, and we're gonna go for a little walk. There's Frodo right there. I just dumped the skins over in the hedgerow, and that's my pan. I'll pick that up in a little bit. But I thought we'd go for a little walk. It's starting to get kind of pretty out here. This is my backyard. And the colors aren't real bright, but it's still a nice time of year. So I thought we'd walk down into the path. And I've got my dogs, three of them. One of them didn't want to come. Got my dogs here. Come on, Chica. Here she comes, running to catch up. She's our only little girl.
Oh, you got her?
All the rest are boys. Yeah. Thanks, honey. I guess you've got Rusty in the house. Are you coming for a walk?
He won't. He what?
Are you coming for a walk?
No.
Okay. All right, we're gonna go for a little bit of a walk here. Here's the other two. There's Peanut. And there's Frodo. Come on, Frodo. Come on, we're gonna go for a little walk. Come on. Come on, Frodo. Take him back with you if he'll go back. They can't decide whether they want to go or not. But anyway, it is, oh, Frodo did decide to go. It is getting real pretty back here. And I've got flip-flops on. So my feet are getting wet with the dew. And I'll probably end up stumbling around. But this is what I call Maple Corners. We've got a broken down picnic table down here. I'm trying to decide whether we're gonna fix it or burn it and get another one, because they're not that expensive when you go to Home Depot and pick them up. And we've got a broken down limb that Earl was thinking about. He's got to get it sawed down, but he was having some trouble with his chainsaw, so we haven't been down here yet to do it. But I like to call this Maple Corners because these are all huge maple trees here. I love to come down here and sit. It's always shady down here, even in the hot summer. So we'll walk on just a little bit more. The other day when I was down here, there was some beautiful mushrooms in the path. And I don't know anything about eating them, so I don't mess with them at all. Puffballs I grew up on. We always had puffballs in the fall. But I would never pick a mushroom here to eat because I just don't know anything about it. But this is my path, and I just love it here. Earl keeps it mowed for us so that the dogs can walk. I wanted to show you this pretty, I guess it's called poison oak or something like that, but it's just starting to get real pretty here. I just love the hedgerows. Try not to move this camera too fast because I know it gets real blurry and hard to look at when you swing the camera around. There's Peanut. There's Frodo and Chica. Frodo's my old man. He's 14 years old. He still likes to go for walks. But he likes to sleep most of the day too. So, I'm going to try not to shake this around too much so that maybe you can enjoy the walk with me. Oh, here's some interesting mushrooms here. I just find them so interesting. Would never do anything with them, but I just like looking at them and seeing how they grew and seeing how nature works her wonders with recycling. I guess you would say mushrooms are recycling the earth and different components in it. Oh, there's some over here by Frodo too. Kind of creepy looking. But I just like looking at them. They're getting kind of old now. They were fresher when I was here the other day, and they were really much more pretty. I've got some chairs down here. I think they were in my other video, and I've got a book that I want to read out of. I love to read out loud, and I have an old history book that is actually a kid's history book, and it's got some really nice stories in it. So my plan is, on a sunny day, to come down here and sit in my chairs and read some of the stories to you. I wanted to show you these little flowers over here. I've talked a lot about them to different people, and there aren't a whole lot right here, but there are a few. And I always thought they were chamomile, and they may be a version of chamomile, but last year I looked them up, and the adorable name for these is Doll's Daisy. And I just love that name. I just think that's so adorable. Doll's Daisy. I don't know who came up with that, but I love it. I love to, whenever I see them, I love to think about the name of them. It's nice to walk with dogs. My dogs are pretty good about staying with me. I sometimes have to holler at them and get them back with me, but this path here is pretty secluded. We're not near the road at all. I'm just kind of ambling so that this records nicely for you. I usually walk a little bit faster than that. You can see this tree limb tree that fell over the path at the beginning of the year. I told Earl, leave that alone. I want that left just like that so that the grapevine grows over it and kind of makes a bower, I guess you'd call it. So hopefully it doesn't fall on anybody's head, but I just thought it was pretty natural the way it is there. And we're getting up to my chairs. Some more of those pretty leaves that are starting to turn red. A lot of grapevine out here. The grapevine is really taken over our property, and I just don't have time to come out here and pull it all down from what it's kind of choking out a lot of things, but that's nature, I guess. There's some more red. I don't know if you can see it very well, and it's a gray, kind of a gloomy day here today. But we're walking. The dogs are enjoying it. I haven't been out here in a couple days. Peanut just ran off after something that he thinks he's going to catch, but he won't. Oh. They get their exercise when we come out here, and then they come back in, and they settle down for the night. You know, they're ready for supper. They think that it's time for supper. It's not quite yet. I usually feed them their last supper about 4 or 4:30, but of course if they can push that up, they will. I'm sorry about this spot on my face. I've had a biopsy done on that, and it's just healing up, so it's kind of ugly to look at, but it is getting better. It's getting healing up, and I'm supposed to find out about the outcome in a few days. So, switch it back around. My chairs, I've got so many of them that I've collected over the years. We've bought them at garage sales. We've picked them up alongside the road. Some of them we paid money for, and then you sit in them and they just collapse. But I just like them. And I know I probably should paint them, but I just kind of like the shabby, chippy look to them. So I've got a whole pile out in another part of our property that really should be brought in someplace, but I haven't done it yet. But Earl brought these out here for me so that I can come out and sit, read my books, hopefully maybe do a little bit of crocheting, watch the birds if there's any out here. So this is what it looks like. I'm not going to go much farther, even though I haven't gone very far. I'm not going to go much farther because my flip-flops are soaking wet and I'm slipping around on them. But I've been doing some things today. I baked bread. I baked 4 loaves of bread, which is my usual recipe, which I'm going to share with everybody eventually. I'm going to do a day when I'm baking bread and show you in the pan and in the how I knead it and the recipe that I use, because it is a really good recipe. I have not bought bread since probably over a year now. We just really like the homemade bread, and I bake it and I put it in the freezer and grab a loaf whenever we need it, and I try to share it with people, and whenever I can, whenever I think somebody would like a loaf of bread, I grab a loaf out of the freezer and hand it to them. And it freezes up so nicely that I mean, it's just like home fresh baked. And we love to toast it in the morning, have with scrambled eggs or poached eggs or whatever. So that's what I've been doing today, and I've got another little craft that I've been doing that I'll show you later on. I'll make that another video. I've been playing with some salt dough, trying to copy a picture that I had seen on Pinterest, and they're actually some salt dough ornaments, and they're in the oven right now, so they've got to bake for 2 or 3 hours at a very, very low temperature to get completely dried out. So I'll show you them later, and I'm going to paint them up as I go. So I'll give you one last look at the path here. Peanut, come on, buddy. Oh, there you are. I thought you were down the hill, down the lane. You're all wet. Look at your face. Peanut butter. Peanut butter. Hey, you won't look at the camera. There he is. He's been rooting around in the leaves. His face is all wet. So I'll come out here on a sunnier day. I kind of enjoy the gloomy days myself. To me, they're just as pretty as the sunny days, and I don't care for the heat at all, so this weather is perfect for me. But I invite you to enjoy my path just as I do, and I'm glad I could bring you along. I'm glad my iPad stuck around and the battery didn't go dead, because my iPads are kind of old. But this is one last look at the hedgerow. If you're like me, you love hedgerows. I guess that's part of growing up in the country. Hedgerows are just so interesting and country-like. So, thank you all for taking a walk with us. I'm going to take my dogs home, make some supper for them. See what Earl wants for supper. I'm not sure what he wants to do. He's been nibbling on cookies that I made, so I'm not sure how hungry he is. It may just be a cup of soup night. I'm not positive, but I did take a steak out of the freezer earlier today, but that could always go for tomorrow also. So thank you all for joining in on our little walk, and I plan on making some more videos, so I hope to visit with you again soon. Have a great day, everybody, and please stay safe. Bye-bye.